Hello again, I'm Greg Mailer. Welcome back to Tournament Fishing the Deck Building Game. What I want to do in this video is show you a little bit more about the angler cards in the game and talk about them, the restrictions, and go over everything I can think of to tell you about these. The first thing I want to start off with is this sort of archetype or how the cards are laid out, and this is a multi-use card game. So every angler card in the game has 3 ways you can use it. So let's go over that. On this card here, as we see in the top left-hand corner, we have a panel with symbols on it. And as you notice, on all the other cards, there's the same layout. That can be you can use that card in that way. If you discard it during the reel phase, it will generate its symbols to counter the fight cards. So that's what that portion would do, and they're different on all the cards, and so keep that in mind. The other way it can be used is for its money down in the bottom left hand corner, and all of the cards will have money that they generate. And then lastly, the main effect, which is the center of the card under the name, is what you do when you actually play it. The other two, you're going to actually discard it, and that's why I made a distinction, so that you know if I'm doing it for the other two kind of minor uses instead of its main uses, that I'm discarding. If I use it for its main function, then I'm playing it. So with that in mind, let's go talk about the casts. These cards have a yellow background, or it's tan yellow background, and you can only play one of these per turn. Now you can discard them for the other effects, but you can only play one. You couldn't play two. If you had multiple in your hand, you're going to have to choose which one to play. The hook card has a red background, and like the cast, you can only play one per turn. However, where it's a little bit different is you don't have to play it before a cast attempt. You can play it after a cast attempt, or in the process of looking at the card. So say I cast to a spot and I have a hook card in my hand, I can hold it there, look at the card, and say I needed a couple more power. I can say, okay, I'm going to play this set right now to get 2 more power, and then I can attract it. So that's how they're more powerful, in that you can do it as sort of a reaction in the middle of a cast attempt. But once again, you can only play one per turn, and you can discard it for its other 2 effects, multiple ones. You can only play one is the only restriction. Alright, moving along. The lure cards all have green backgrounds. However, there are 2 types of lures. There are a Livebait Lure, which all have the reel phase trigger down there, which says if you make it to the reel phase, which means a fish bit your lure, then you're going to place this card in your bait bucket. And the bait bucket is a general pool that any angler can buy from during their buy phase, and you just sort of cordon off a spot and call that the bait bucket. The artificial lures, they're more permanent and don't have that effect, and the different cards will trigger off of those different types. For instance, this reel over here is going to boost artificial lures, and there's other cards that are going to boost live bait lures. But they both have the same background. Now, the restriction on those is you can only play one per turn as well, and you have to play one to make cast attempts. And if you don't have one to start the cast phase, you have to skip the cast phase. So it's required to be played to make a cast attempt, and you can only play one. Moving right along, these attachments are quite a bit different as well. For them, they're always going to attach somewhere. For instance, the sharp hooks here says during the search phase, attach it to your play area, which is just somewhere in front of you. Some of the other cards might attach to a leg spot. So it just depends. It tells you wherever it's going to attach to. And these cards stay in play temporarily until their red condition text has been met. In this case, this one says during the reel phase, discard it to swap out a fight card with the top one of the discard pile. So you can leave this one in play until you want to do that, and then you would discard it, do that effect in the real phase, and so that's how it gets discarded. Now the restrictions on attachments: you can play as many attachments you want, but you can only have one copy of each attachment in play. So you can have multiple copies. You can have multiple attachments in play, but they have to be different attachments. And that's pretty much it as far as attachments go. They have the brown background. The next one is the accessories with the blue background. They have no restrictions at all. You can play as many as you want, and there is no restrictions. Most of them trigger in the search phase, so there is that, but not all of them. And like the accessories, the present actions with the gray background have no restrictions as well. You can play as many as you want. You can make your presentation to the fish all you want and generate as much power as you want. There's no restriction on those. So that is pretty much it as far as the angler cards go. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks again for watching. So long. Bye-bye.